into the South Africa 22. Van der Merwe underneath that one. Low. Pienaar is the scrum half. Decent kick, good hang time. Shuley underneath it confidently though. Now it goes up from Dulin. A traffic jam right in the middle of the field there. First penalty for South Africa.
Very much South Africa finding their feet there. They just received the ball, took it nicely, and Ruben Pienaar put the kick up. Great chase, forced France to kick it, and France, we ruined their discipline there. Although Ruben Pienaar's missed the touchline. More morning saying there. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, charge down, and Peterson is in. Touches down.
But you've got to take your hats up.
Referee whistles up. I mean, play could have stopped there just as easily because it was knocked forwards by France, but Peterson just kept on going.
Well, it's a catalogue of mistakes, really. South Africa make the first one. They don't find touch. Looking for an attacking line out on the 22. France, great bit of skill, keep it in play, but then Morgan Parra just takes too long with his kick. JP Peterson, outstanding. What you want from your wingers, you want them to chase hard, put pressure on. There was the initial mistake, but a mistake has been turned into a positive. And JP Peterson on his 51st cap, that's outstanding.
16th try for him in 51 caps as well. For the man christened Jean-Paul Roger. JPR Peterson, better known of course just JP, but Parra will be, well, disappointed. Doesn't come halfway to realising what he's feeling. This is Morgenstein. Rarely gets the French crowd as quiet as that. Rarely does he make a mistake either. 7-0, South Africa lead.
Just a tale of two different emotions there. South Africa on a high and probably can't believe how fortunate they've been to be 7 points up in France, thinking, wow, I hope this is not the what we've got to come for the rest of the game. Quite clearly they've got to get, they're likely to go long, but they've got to get a bit more pressure on. They've got to get more pressure on Ruben Pienaar with his box kick, so that if he doesn't kick it to touch, they've got more time.
Take by Oosthuizen. 13 caps before tonight, all as a replacement, making his first start. There again, man from the Cheetahs. There's the kick, and again it looked as though there was so much time there.
They changed their tactics slightly there. You were starting to think, well, maybe South Africa are just going to do the exact same thing. Catch the ball, set it up. Two forwards with one person hitting it up in midfield, and then Pienaar kicking. I think probably France were looking for Pienaar. He's quite intelligent. He's put it to the other kicker, Morgenstein, who has put it into touch straight away this time.
France trying to inject some life into their attacks. Fritz bursting through. Tackled by de Villiers. Uge on the twist and turn. Bismarck du Plessis is the hooker for South Africa. South Africa ball.
Bismarck du Plessis, as you say, he got in on the ball there. He clamped it. He wasn't the first in, but one thing he did do was make sure that he's probably second, if not third man in. But what he did was he just got his hands right underneath that ball, got into a nice strong position, and France weren't getting the ball out once the other South African players arrived.
Bismarck du Plessis had a great autumn tournament, hasn't he? I mean, not just doing the basic hooking duties, but he's looked great in the loose as well.
Well, for so many years he had to fight it out with John Smith. John Smith was there and very much an outstanding, charismatic leader for the team, and very much someone who galvanised the squad. So Bismarck probably didn't get as many starts as he would have liked for the quality of player he is. Now Jean has retired, and he gets his chance now, and he is up there as possibly the #1 hooker in the world. And he's had a rest last weekend as well, which, you know, whilst he's grateful of a rest, I'm sure he's desperate to prove he is #1 South African hooker and also #1 in the world.
Man of many talents, medical man as well, of course. Now then, Barnes overseeing this scrum. South Africa ball in. Free kick. France have got to get it first, though. South Africa made sure they weren't going to get it quickly.
Well, before this game started, France, I'm sure, will have targeted this as one of the key areas that if they were going to get a platform, it had to come in the scrum. And also not just a platform, that they had to attack South Africa, get under their skin, get the momentum. And I'm sure in terms of their statistics, they'll want to add this probably to another penalty, because, you know, South Africa even acknowledged it before the game that France get the most amount of penalties in World Rugby.
Difference in pack weight of 7 kilos a man. South Africa, the heavier of the two. But as we all know, it's what you do with it. Once you've got it. There you go. Total weight. Pienaar sensing his chance there. Bit of a scruffy one for France.
Yeah, both scrums attacked. It was quite an even contest, but towards the end, France got their loose head up and started to get a bit of a move. But as we can see, you know, this pitch is not renowned for holding together, and it's going to make it difficult for France to get their perceived advantage going.
Honestly, what has happened to pitches in Northern Europe? International pitches in Northern Europe.
I'm not going to try and confess to being a master of stadium grass.
Not a curator, Richard? Need Ben Kay for that. Lawn man. Right, let's see if this one stays stable. Unusual view for Wayne Barnes. Probably most effective. Down it goes again.
Stand up, please. Say more. Okay.
I think he's just trying to show us that he's desperate to make sure that ball goes in straight.
Okay, the pitch is a problem, so we will come up a little. Higher. We must come a bit higher. Okay, but this is an issue.
Wayne Barnes is asking for the French pack to come up that little bit higher, but that'll be the last thing they want. If they're 7 kilos a man down, they've got great technique. They're going to want to try and, you know, get those big South Africans lower and get underneath them.
Especially when you've drilled all week for scrums at certain angles, certain level, and then you're told to lift it.
And the French are one of the most scientific teams. They have got their own specific scrummage machine at their hotel base.
Down again. Right. Got to make some decisions here.
Stand up, please.
Well, as we can hear, the French crowd are not enjoying this either. It did look like the South Africans. It didn't look like they slipped. It just looked like they went down.
Okay, there's not a lot I can do about the pitch, but we must be higher now. Higher and closer. Closer, please.
Higher and closer. 7 minutes gone. We've spent about 2 minutes on this already.
South Africans trying to get into Wayne Barnes' head that the French aren't striking for the ball, therefore it must be being fed.
It's on a bit of a wobble, but it's there for Shuli, picked up by Uge. Again, running straight down a cul-de-sac. Para wants them to fan out. Look at Kaiser going back. South Africa up quickly. Still the French ball. There's Para. Through Tales. On again for Shuli. Arriving on the scene, Nicolas Mas, most experienced man on the French side. Good competition for the ball, but France stay in control. Now they've been forced out wide. Florian Fritz turns, lets it go. Tales again. This time he finds Loré running onto it. Parrott goes the other way for Fofana. Fofana, so strong, the man from Clermont. Props have to do the work. Don't know where Parra's got to. That's Tales. Arrives on the scene now. Has another look round. It's Fofana once more. the skipper, brought down by Pienaar. Para keeping this going at a decent pace. Had to come.
Good patience from France there, because they weren't far for Fana getting over the gain line, which surprised me quite a bit, because South Africa are defending very, very tight. But I think part of that's to do with the fact that France haven't got that much width, apart from they've got the two wingers out wide, but they haven't got the blink players that are going to get it there. So South Africa are tightening it up, but great inside ball from Morgan Para there, just getting over the gain line for Fana. But they would have hoped for more here. Just the ball's got to be getting out wider, and straight runners running hard. South Africa's defence was very solid there. I mean, Francois Loeb putting a number of big hits there. He's got trapped. Bismarck du Plessis probably felt that the ball was available and probably felt a bit aggrieved on that.
I think he had a fair point. So first chance for France to put something on the board. Morgan Para, 54th cap. Already kicked 75 penalties in his international career. Never on target, is always going to slide wide. Remains 7-0 to South Africa. Just over 11 minutes gone.
Yeah, Morgan Harris just having a look at the pitch there. He plants his right foot and you can quite clearly see the turf going away, and that's not going to help. Not only did the turf go away, but it hit his kicking tee as well. But those are the points that France are going to have to score if they want to stay with South Africa. South Africa are number 2 in the world for a specific reason. They close these games out.
Scotland found out to their cost last week, 28-0 win up at Murrayfield, and Wales, of course, were beaten in a sort of magic spell of about a quarter of an hour in the first half at the Millennium. It's what they can do. Harry gets up and immediately finds himself going down again. Musatoa plays up. He's in there again, the captain. Inspirational. Laurie lets it go. Tales does get great hang time on these kicks, and it's worked this time. Did it go forward off a French hand? Referee letting play go on. Not for long.
France haven't really got themselves going. They've had to resort to the kicking game because they've not been able to get over the gain line. But on that particular occasion, they put the kick up and they got good pressure on it. And that's all you ask, really. You're either kicking to turn the opposition or you're kicking to compete. And on that occasion, they went up to compete. Just unfortunately, when Leroux dropped the ball, France weren't able to pick it up, and just that slight knock-on. But again, it gives them an opportunity now, ball against the head, to actually start putting some physical pressure onto the South African scrum.
Crouch! 5, set!
Oosthuizen making his first start is the tight head for South Africa. Pienaar. Little bump and a skip into touch. Reasonably happy with that.
South Africa will be, feeling quite comfortable. They've got 7 points on the board and not having to do anything. They'll just play it calm now. They held their own in the scrum, 8-9, and Pienaar, just prods it through. It keeps the pressure on France, and at the moment we haven't seen anything that make us believe that France are going to come up with some magic plan to get out. So, they're either going to have to start running some different lines, or we're going to see a different kicking game.
Standard French tactic. Kaiser picks it up. Favourite one of Ibanez, that. J.P. Peterson, scorer of the try. Great athlete. Bismarck du Plessis. Surely, rare for him to drop something like that. Fortunately, it went backwards. Here's Dulin. Scored a try against the All Blacks. Scored another one against Tonga. Thales. This is Fritz. Nice from Parra, but that probably hurt. Forestier. Kick coming because they were just making no progress at all. Again, it's a good kick from Thales. Great hang time, but you don't want to be kicking to somebody like Brian Habana because he just return it with bags of interest. Here goes Dulin, can't quite keep his feet. Pulled down by Flip van der Merwe. This time, going to torpedo it down into the corner.
One of the bits you need to keep an eye on is France are having to resort to this kicking game because the amount of players they're sending into the breakdown, whether it's a distinct tactic that they're worried about how much pressure some of the South African back row forwards are going to put on the breakdown, but at times we're seeing the ball carrier go in, and Dulan's had two nice little breaks here, not quite been able to get away, but when they're going down, France are committing at times 6 players to the breakdown, and if you've got 7 players in one area and there's only 1 or 2 defenders, then quite clearly the odds are stacked in defenders in their favour. Well, this is a big shame if Estevez has had to come off because he's been heavily involved in the defensive work with an outstanding number of tackles. Not a bad replacement though. Bakie's both there to come on.
I was going to say 78th cap. Of course, before this tour, hadn't played since the World Cup back in 2011. Playing his rugby over in France, of course, with Toulon. So we know a lot of these players that he's up against, and they'll know him as well. Pienaar. I'm very so impressed with Pienaar at scrum half. Seen him play a lot for Ulster over the last couple of seasons, and time is something that he just seems to naturally acquire.
He's got good leadership qualities, isn't he? Doesn't panic at all. Great hit there.
Dulin flattened. France desperate to get it back. Parra doing a good job there, not to get his knee on the ground. It's down now. With desperate defence.
Shuli's not been that reliable at the back at the moment. That's a couple of balls that have not been that accurate. That's not going to help them if they want to get out of their own 22 and give the kicker plenty of time.
Got to remember too that Philippe Saint-André, the French coach, sent Louis Picamol home. Not in the squad, not in the 23.
A player that only 12 months ago we'd have been talking about as world class and fitting into most teams around the world.
And certainly they were saying the best European number 8, weren't they?
Bakie's both are making himself felt straight away.
Thales, his first option has always been to kick. LaRue couldn't get on the end of Cabana's kick. That's resulted in this scrabble. There goes Dusatoir. Fritz running into trouble. De Villiers closed on him, but somewhere along the line the ball had gone forwards.
No, not for me. The hands are on a long time.
Well, we spoke about the leadership of Rouen-Pillon. The French need some leadership now. Dusatoir needs to get his troops in together. Ooh, we see the replay there of Bakie's both and not only letting himself be felt, but quite physically felt as well. A touch on the high side. So the French
around the mouth. Yeah,
the French. LaRue was able to compete for that ball because the French players aren't helping. We're seeing Thales kick the ball, but there's not a great intensity on the chase, and the kick chase has to be outstanding. It has to be forthright. And then we see South Africa return the ball. And if Dulan hadn't caught that or got involved in it, there was no cover anyway.
Actually channels its way through. Tales forced to run this time. Again, the long kick, which doesn't really give South Africa anything to think about. Good take. Now, can he open it out? No. Fritz kicks it away to JP Peterson. He tries to get it angling for the corner with the outside of the boot, but it lands for Dulan. An exciting runner he is. Fritz brought down by Vermeulen. Picked up by Lowe. Leroux, one of the 10 men this season who played in all 13 games. Some form or another for the Springboks during 2013. Nice clearance kick.
Quite clearly South Africa are winning this kicking battle. And part of me thinks they're not going to be encouraged to play their exciting running game while they're making so much headway into the French 22 by just playing a very simple game plan. Dulan is having some brilliant little runs, but earlier, or a minute ago, I criticised the French for not putting too many people in. You know, as he makes his run here, the support play just has got to be quicker. We just got one prop clearing out, then the scrum half has to go in, Para has to go in. It's not enough. They've got to get 2 or 3 people there every breakdown. The South Africans are just far too good on the floor.
This is Vermeulen's injury. Saw him getting a bit of attention. He got a boot in the face, but he's up and about. Had some talented number 8s over the years, so I think PSPs and people like that. Now Vermeulen.
If you think just their whole back row, there's been some outstanding individuals. They've got the size, they've got the power, but they've got the skill as well. Saying that though, Kieran Reid is still the man to compare yourself to.
Definitely. Low. Swift pass for Alberts. Duplessis turned well. East hasn't seen a lot of the ball in the first half. Here comes Pienaar. Takes those very quick steps and gets away from the tackle. Leroux puts the ball up. Here's Habana. Dulan suddenly finds the great man hanging round his knees.
Great play by Leroux there. You could just see he's got time on the ball. He looked up as he received it. He saw that the French were pressing hard. No one in behind. He digs it in. But this is the beauty. I mean, a man of Brian Habana, his age, his caps, you think maybe he's going to get a bit lazy, but far from it. He leads the chase, he makes the hit, and now South Africa have the line. They've got to drive this one. We saw it last week against Scotland.
Flip van der Merwe. And goes Duplessis, powerhouse as ever. Mutawira, the beast there, looking at the referee, expecting him to give a penalty, but Para has that under control. Tales.
South Africa just didn't have the setup that they got in the early part of both halves last week against Scotland. Unfortunately, they came down. It was a bit of a messy set, and Pascal Pape did excellently. He just managed to get his big claws over the top of the inside blocker, and from there on in, the South Africans weren't able to move forward.
South Africa leading 7 points to 0. JP Peterson try in the first minute. Morgan Para penalty miss for France after 10. Into the French half and driving hard. This is Leroux. He just slipped the tackle there so comfortably.
You thought it was on. It's the perfect rugby. You put your 15 against the tight head prop, and he just wasn't quite able to get on the outside himself. He could have gone himself on that replay. Yeah.
And they just have found the gap.
I think the South Africans are probably going to have to start making a little point to Wayne Barnes about the gap. At the moment, France are putting a lot of pressure on them. On that one, they didn't go up, but on the other ones, they're getting in nice and tight and they're disrupting the South Africans and their movement and the quality of the ball they're receiving once they hit the floor.
Good overhead shot. See exactly what's going on there. The pitch in a mess again. Yatoon had no chance in his second appearance for France to really show anything over on that far wing. Coming from inside their own half once more. Cabana's going for it. Cabana shoved off it, but Duplessis tidying up behind him. Bakis both are in there.
You hate to emphasise the point, but for South Africa again, just kick to compete. Cabana, up he goes. Doesn't win it. You know, but he does. He pushes it back, and Bismarck Duplessis just cleans it up.
Scrum, blue ball, not what you can speak, scrum. Because it was a ball. I didn't see it at collapse.
Julie in there.
Okay, relax.
Testing it.
Too much talking to the players. We stop now. It's too much talking.
Brian Cabana goes up there. You can see he's trying to catch it. Then he recognises he's not going to, and his next instinct is just to make sure, turns the up part of his fingers just to push it back, so it's not a knock on. He knows he's got 14 other men charging up behind him.
Experience of 95 caps. Not too sure about the moustache though. Hope it's for Movember. It's coming off. Penalty, South Africa.
Well, we talked just at the start of the game about how France were going to want to dominate this area, how it was the one key weapon they were going to have against South Africa. And South Africa are doing a great job. They're getting their tight head, Oosterhuizen into, straight into the loose head, pinning you through. And we're seeing the French scrum disintegrate. It's almost like they've got two halves to a scrum. The loose head side's going off left and the right hand side's... Well, it's not good for Estebanez. Remember watching him in the under-20s World Cup match a couple of years ago, and he was outstanding in that. He's transformed it in such a quick time into full international rugby. Yes, the local crowd are not enjoying Bakis Botha and his physicality. You'd have thought, they've seen him play for too long now. You'd have thought they'd be getting used to it.
Made his debut back in 2002. Now, Mornestein doesn't miss very many, as the Lions, of course, found out in 2009. And landed that remarkable 50-odd yarder to level the second test, and that is over with ease. Adds on the 3. And South Africa go 10 points ahead.
Yeah, no problems there. Just great foot placement, just followed through, nice and easy. Split the uprights.
Shadows again. Are we just overcooking it? 3-4 yards too far into that 22. Pull it back a bit. Here goes Dulin. Van der Merwe with the tackle. Two centres combining. Fofana with it now. Fritz leaves it. Flat pass, keeps them moving. Here goes Shuli, and Shuli gets pushed on there by Uge. Peterson in there causing a bit of consternation. South Africa haven't laid claim to it yet. They haven't got it. Kaiser flips it up for Thales. Maestri up for Para, then on for Fofana again. Oosthuizen getting in there, staying on his feet well.
Relax, number 3.
Jean de Villiers showing his skills as a back row forward there, getting in
number
over.
3 on his feet. Relax.
Didn't have to do a lot. Once he got clamped in there, because he knew that he had the right technique. For once we saw France there, that you just thought that they'd run the ball to the right hand side. You thought they've lost about 15 yards, and you're thinking, what are you doing? But then on the reverse, South Africa's defence was really, really tight, and that's the first time that we've seen them get on the outside. Shuli makes a good break. So here we see him. He gets pushed through. A little bit of help from his winger. That's what you need. Didn't need to do that offload though. That was too congested. France needed to be having the next phase on the front foot and allowing support runners to get further over the gain line and pick off their own mismatches.
Good take in the line now. The crowd feel that France have got something in and that they can get something before half-time. South Africans not out of reach yet. 10-0 coming up to the half hour. I think he copped a late one there. Did the referee see it, or the touch judge? Barnes front check. Return. Para checks where his standoff is. Almost called out. Pienaar coming through now. We're going to go back for the incident where Dulin made the kick. And I think there was a bit of afters. There was a follow through on that.
3-2 has just gone into the kicker a little late. Yeah. OK, so penalty where it lights.
Penalty where it lights.
And recommendation?
Just a penalty.
Penalty, you take me where it lights. Just a late hit on the kicker, so it's a penalty where it lights, OK?
Jean de Villiers didn't necessarily like the decision, but I don't know if that's just a stereotypical or a response he's just programmed to now.
Just frown at the referee and let him know. He might get the next one. Duplessis on Dulin is the offence. Now the instructions for Thales. As far as you like. And he did put a lot into that, didn't he?
Not a huge amount in it from Duplessis, but I think he knew what he was doing.
Probably about 4 stones advantage, I think. At least for Duplessis. Oosthuizen in there, battling away, looking rather like Jacques Kallis, the cricketer. There goes Kaiser, the rampaging hooker. Duplessis held back, Para picks it up. France have got to get a runner. This is Fritz, brought down there by Morgenstein. Para again. Running into trouble because that was Loré. Roared on by the crowd, and one-handed knockdown there.
France at last getting their phases together, getting people running hard, engaging the South African defence. So much so the South African defenders have had to all try and step in. We're seeing Habana flapping his arms around. But on the reverse play there, France were really, really deep, and they allowed South Africa to come up hard. And Jean de Villiers, close. I mean, there's no doubt he would run that in if he'd caught it. he's probably grateful that it was probably that half a yard closer to him, because I think if he'd have stretched any more with that knockdown, we've seen a lot of them penalised lately.
Yeah. It was good last time.
And I'm not saying I believe that's a penalty, certainly not.
Thank you.
No, if you're making a fair attempt to play the ball and have the opportunity to go for the line yourself rather than just disrupting the attacking play against you, that's two things slightly different.
Far side.
Okay, about 7 minutes or so to go to half time.
I'm going to come here.
Try and find a little bit of virgin turf here. Difficult.
Okay. Closer.
Monica Meyer, 46 years old.
And of course the scrummaging coach for South Africa is Peter de Villiers, the once French prop.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Yes, line.
Not a very edifying spectacle.
It's just moving sideways, I know.
Definitely two teams trying to push against.
Coming again.
You know, it's definitely a physical contest where they both want to go through one another, not around.
Good scrum that side. C'est bien là-bas. Come closer.
This pitch not helping.
It's not helpful from the scrummaging, but it's also the same we're seeing from Dulin. He's not enjoying it as well, because he's struggling each time he tries to put a step in.
Set. Yes, nine.
Goes again. Shuley at the back. Pulled down by Albers. Para for Maestri. Given back by Bakis Bolton. Kaiser again.
Hands away now.
There goes Fritz. Made some useful yards without actually producing one of those blistering runs that we've got used to. Penalty, holding on.
Relax.
Yet again, he's on de Villiers in there. I'm not sure how much he was involved in the stealing of the ball, but he's obviously made the tackle.
The Premier joueur là-bas.
It was led to it. I'd love to see the French in the wider channels just get that little bit, they're timing that much better, so that they're receiving flatter balls. It's allowing South Africa to be able to realign themselves in defence and get reorganised in order to number off. Not a great sign for the French. The Mexican wave's already started.
Well, they paid the money, enjoy themselves.
Gaps, please.
Duplessis. Taken by Van der Merwe. Bismarck Duplessis. Tucked in there at the back. Got to stay bound. Advantage South Africa. Pienaar whips it away. Here goes de Villiers. Jacques Fourie goes down. The hooker's there again. Duplessis. Now Pienaar. Alberts takes it forwards.
He's okay. Back here, number one. Collapse.
Came to a halt there, so they're going back for the penalty, which Wayne Barnes called about 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, that penalty came back from an outstanding catch at the line-out, and the set that South Africa gets, what they've not been able to do earlier on in the game when they've had incursions down into the French 22. But it was the work of the people in front of the ball. Bismarck du Plessis had his hands on the ball at the back. Bakkies Botha's weight nearly collapsed his own wall, but every other player was going beyond, securing, making it easy. Yeah, we see it here. Kayser tries to pull out players, Bakkies goes down, but the guys that work, Van der Merwe was working hard, people getting back up onto their feet. That could have easily collapsed, but each player wanted it to stay up.
So in the 38th minute, penalty for South Africa. Steyn with a pretty easy job. I like the sound of it. 13-0. Well, there's been a lot of pressure from France leading up to that point. It's come to nothing. And then typical South Africa, they drive away downfield, pick up a penalty, and they've extended their lead just a minute before half-time.
It's not necessarily some of the best rugby that we've seen out of South Africa this year, for sure. But the one thing they are doing is, without a doubt, the scoreboard has kept ticking over on the back of the luxury of having an early try.
Suddenly released here for Para. Para going, and does he get down in the corner? Huget, he's certain that he did.
That looked like an outstanding finish. From here, I know we're going to go to the video ref, but that looked like he was well inside the flag on my initial thought. And if he's done that, it was such a tight space. That is excellent winger play of the highest level, and something that young people ought to watch.
Now watch the feet. JP gets across to him, and he's... Can't see whether the knee was on the line. Neither could the touch judge on that side. This is a better view. I think he got it down before he went across, before he got anywhere near the line. There's JP.
I'd be surprised if he didn't get this down. The only thing I didn't hear was what the referee said, what his question was.
Yeah.
Thierry's just talking, so just so you know, I'm first of all checking an offside because the ball popped out, and whether the player who picked it up was on an onside position. If he's onside, we then look at the grounding, okay?
Now we know what he's looking at.
So we're looking at Papier. We're seeing whether Pape was offside at the maul or the claps. At this breakdown here, this ruck. So he's the big fella on the far side. He's not going to be hard.
Huget as well. I think it was Pienaar lost it, didn't he?
I think what they're doing, they're checking whether Pape was onside when the ball came out. So just on the right-hand side as we look, no, that's out. That's out.
Nicely delayed pass by Para.
This will be just what the French need. They need to be on the scoreboard. They need some confidence. We're approaching the halfway mark, and you know, they need to go into the change room with something to be buoyed by. That's the angle that we just need in a... We don't want this angle. We need the one that was high up from behind.
Yeah. Up a bit and 45 degrees. Here you go.
No worries. No worries. Time has stopped.
He's fine there. Now. They've really got the shove on him, and ball down. I don't think he was touching the line.
I'd give that.
Yes, thank you.
Ramage.
Just to confirm, I can reward the try.
Going to be a try. France on the board immediately before half-time. Couldn't be better.
Well, that's one giveaway try each now, so it's all level on that front.
Third try in his career for Huget, Toulouse winger.
France had to work it a little bit more. I mean, they did finish it and finished it well.
So, France 5, South Africa 13 as it stands. Parra now, left foot close to the touchline. Difficult kick, but the turf might be better out there on that wing than it is where they ploughed up the centre. Babis Mutawira. Nice pot.
I'm glad of that. Yeah, there's not a lot you can say with that first penalty. It was poor footing. The ground went away, and that was an excellent strike and perfect timing. Half-time, there we go.
So that's the way. It's all set up for a great second half. France 7, South Africa 13.